This is the Shaver Prep Football Podcast, episode 34, season 2, presented by Aquarius Home Services and brought to you by Truestone Financial, 612 Quarterbacks, and powered by 10K Construction. We have a big announcement here at Talk North. Our live Class 6A football selection show is back. Thursday, October 16th at 10 a.m., we'll announce the Class 6A football playoff bracket live. 4 coaches will join me in studio to break it all down. That's Thursday, October 16th at 10 a.m., and you can find us on YouTube at Shavers Prep Football Podcast. I was in Uppsala Friday afternoon for a high school football game between the Uppsala-Swanville Patriots and Maple Lake. They played at 2 o'clock, and fans lined the field sitting in lawn chairs. It was great. One player stood out, number 14 for Uppsala-Swanville, Brody Kircher. I saw him make a number of great catches, like this interception. The senior's an outstanding player on a very good Class 1A football team. The game belonged to Uppsala-Swanville, and Brody's touchdown catch late in the first half basically put the game away. 52-8 was the final score on a very warm October afternoon. So week 6 is in the books for Minnesota high school football, and now the crazy part begins. Games this week on Thursday, October 9th and Friday, October 10th. And then Wednesday, October 15th is the final night of the regular season. Of course, that's MEA Wednesday. Then the playoffs begin. Tuesday, October 21st, then Friday for Class 6A, and then Saturday, October 25th. And away we go. It's a crazy month of high school football in Minnesota. Our Talk North Walk the Talk winner this week is Carson Heimer of Byron. The star two-way player rushed 35 times for 261 yards and 3 touchdowns. And on defense, he made 17 tackles and added an interception in a big 34-20 victory over Carson Manorville. Well, congratulations to Carson. He had such a big night on Friday night in a rivalry game against Carson Manorville. 35 carries, 261 yards, 3 touchdowns. But your coach talked to me on Strip Varsity Live on Friday night how your defense was the difference in the football game. Just talk about, first of all, playing against Carson, what that means to Byron. And second of all, talk a little bit about your football game on Friday.
You know, playing against Byron, it's always a fun one, always a great matchup. The community loves it, as you can see, looking out at the crowd. For us, it's just they're a good opponent every year. You know, they're a conference team. They know what we do. We know what they do. So then it just comes down to a little bit of who wants it more.
Do you get tired? You must have been on the field the entire football game.
Yeah, I definitely get it gets rough at some points. I'm just gasping for air, but you got to do what you got to do.
So do you like one over the other? Are you more of an offensive player or a defensive player? What do you prefer?
It's really close between both of them, but it's somewhat, I don't know. I've been asked this question so many times.
Really?
And the answer probably changes a little bit every game, but I think defense, like a big hit can just really set a tone. And I've just got to go defense this time, but that changes a lot. So
when you go to college next year, you play at Mankato State, are you going to play offense or defense? Where are they going to put you?
They're planning on putting me in the nickel spot, so I'll be playing defense there. So I'm really looking forward to that.
So this might be your last go around to carry the football.
Yeah, it might be. They've mentioned a few things about running back, but I think I'm at nickel over there.
So tell me a little bit about your offensive line, because these guys must be doing a great job for you. You carry the ball 35 times. You get 261 yards. You're among the top 5 rushers in the state. Here's your chance to laud your O-line. Give them some love on this interview.
I just love them. They're all great.
Name them for me. Name them for me, Carson. Give them some love.
So we got Hayden Landswork, Elijah Saker, Charlie Jones, Um, oh, this is bad. Mason Edwards, and then we got Carter Meinke. And so
Have you been playing
five,
with these guys for a long time? Have you all been together for a long time?
yeah, I mean, all of them are seniors except for Mason. And so tons of experience. Mason's a junior as well. And he's been starting since 10th grade. So
So
everyone knows what they're doing.
Yeah, tell me what makes them good up front. How there's a trust level not only between the offensive linemen but between the O-line and you. So talk about that a little bit. What's that trust level like?
Um, I mean, as far as the scheme goes, they know where to go, but they do a really good job on picking up blocks that maybe don't look like they're supposed to be there, or just they just kind of pick up everything. And honestly, makes my job easy. I just follow behind them, make a cut or two, and yeah, they're the ones putting in the real work.
Describe yourself as a running back. What do you think makes you a good running back?
I think vision. I like to think that I can find holes before they kind of progress. And then I'd also say speed, because I think once I do get to the second level, I mean, I think I got the ability to take it all the way.
So last night you had, or Friday night, you had 17 tackles, I believe. You also had an interception. Is that like a normal night, or was this a little bit more than a normal night for you on the field for both sides of the ball?
These are actually the first time I'm hearing any of these stats. So this is definitely it's not a normal night. I think this was a great game for me, and it was also like the level of the competition. Our last five or so games have kind of been, we get up on a team early and then put those guys in for the fourth quarter. So just playing throughout the whole game, I think definitely is what led to those stats. And then just, I mean, we got a great team. Like, I think we got almost everyone playing one way on the ball. So it just keeps us all fresh. And, football is just a team sport. So yep. I just got to give credit to them.
Byron has started to kind of, I'll use air quotes, dominate this series a little bit. But there was a time when Cass and Manorville beat Byron like 26 consecutive times. I mean, they were absolutely dominating you guys. But the tide has turned a little bit. Does it feel like that? Do you guys talk about that at all? That you're starting to get the upper hand a little bit on Casson in this series?
Yeah, I mean, I remember growing up that we'd lose to them. I mean, really? You said it, like 20 years straight. And then I think high school football is just, there's new people coming in every year, and I think it just depends class by class, the level of athletes each team gets. And I think at this point we got a lot of people on our team for Byron, and we're just all kind of dialed in. And then it also comes to is just creating the culture, and I think our culture has shifted over the last 3 years specifically, and that's all due to the coaches.
So late July, you decide to commit to Minnesota State Mankato. Why them? What was the reason why you said this is the school and this is the football team I want to play for?
They win. They play at a high level of competition, especially for D2 schools. And I mean, I just want to play football. I want the opportunity to play football, and it comes down to they're a great team. They got great coaches, and they always make a good run. So I'm going to be playing more games there than I would at other schools.
Last question. You get Stewartville coming up this week. Yeah. I mean, it's like a gauntlet and the sad part is 3 great teams all in the same section. Only one team can get out. So talk about the game against Stewartville, because this one is just as big as the one against Casson.
Yeah, I mean, Stewartville hates us. So it's definitely
Why
gonna be
is that? Why do they hate you?
I don't know, man. It just comes across a few games. I think, like, what was it, 2 years ago we beat them. Yeah, 3 years ago now. We beat them in the section champion or section semifinals. And that was like, they had a really good team. That I think that kind of started it. Yeah. Ever since then, throughout volleyball and all the other sports, it's just been a growing feud. And then I think them coming back into our section just amps up even more to
Yeah.
where, yeah, it'll be a dogfight.
Yeah, I was going to say that because some people, Stewartville's the two-time, I believe, reigning 3A champion, but they moved back up to 4A this year. So that just kind of throws everything into a interesting quandary in Section 1 for all of you guys. What's the key to beat Stewartville? When you look ahead and you see this matchup, you know what they're going to do. What's the key for you guys?
I think we got a great coaching staff, so I'm not worried about the scheme. I think we'll have a great scheme. Then it comes down to just everyone doing their job to the best of their ability every single play. And I think as long as we follow the script, we do our best on every play, and we do our job, and we don't try and do too much, I think we'll be just fine.
Congratulations on a great night on Friday and beating Carson Manorville 34-20. Byron now 6-0 on the season. And of course, heading into a big game against Stewartville on Friday. Carson, thanks so much for doing this. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Byron's win over Carson Manorville basically cements them as the number one team in Class 4A. Other big wins last week, St. Peter knocked off Albert Lee, handing the Tigers their first loss of the season. And the arch rivals met, Prior Lake and Shakopee, and the Lakers knocked off Shakopee 38-28. And North Branch lost for the first time this year as Grand Rapids beat them 40-8. This is a big week for Minnetonka football. Not only do they host rival Edina, but it's Salute to Service Week, and it's an event that's growing in Minnesota prep football. Well, this is a big week for Minnetonka high school football. It's Salute to Service Week at Minnetonka. They host Edina on Friday night. Pat Becker is here for Minnetonka football to talk more about the Salute to Service program at Minnetonka. Pat, thanks for doing this. If I have this right, year 4 of Salute to Service by Minnetonka. Tell us a little bit about what is it, how did it start, and maybe how it's grown over the last 4 years.
Yeah, thank you for having us and talking about the event, Randy. We appreciate it. My name's Pat Becker. I'm the president of the Minnetonka Touchdown Club, which is the booster program that supports our high school football team. Back in 2022, we had an idea. We were looking for ways to help better serve our community as part of the booster and the football program, and we thought, wow, what a great thing to do to honor our service veterans. We had seen so much of that happen, in the NFL and with the Gophers in college football. We thought, what a great thing to do to honor our veterans across the world and in our community. And so we put together a program that we thought was going to be representative of Minnetonka and that would support our veterans. So we started out with looking towards our community to find people within our community and even within our football program who had served in the armed forces. Found quite a few of them, actually, as we went out and looked, and including one of which was my father. And so we put together that program, bringing the students involved, bringing Bill Wenmark, who's the director of Veterans Affairs for Minnetonka High School, Coach Mark Ash and his staff, who were pivotal in helping design the program. We start out with a program pregame where we read off a speech to our fans and our friends honoring veterans who've served all across the world. We bring on our student color guard that includes representatives of the flags from all of the armed services branches. We went out and bought a 30 by 50 flag to bring out in the field and during the beginning of our program. And we actually use students, whether it be members of the cheer team, the football team, or members of our student government, to come out. We need about 20 plus of them to hold this flag.
That's awesome.
It's pretty cool. We kick off our ceremony with the national anthem sung by our band. And then right when that national anthem ends, we hired a couple pilots out of St. Paul Home Field who had put together restored a B-17 bomber along with 2 fighter planes. And in classic flute to service style, we had a flyover right when
Wow.
that national anthem ends. Yeah, and then they go ahead and kick off the game. And then at halftime, we usually choose between 5 to 7 veterans. Like I said, whether it's within our community or part of our school. And then at halftime, we have a program where we read a little bio about them, and we've got a brand new video screen scoreboard that was donated by the Touchdown Club a couple years ago. And we put a full multimedia up on the board honoring each individual veteran that we've chosen for that game. And so it started in 2022. We've done it every year since, and the program has grown. We designed our own salute to service gear, just like college and in the NFL. We provide it to our coaching staff, but we also sell it to our fans. And year one, it was all coaches. Year two, we sold, I don't remember, it was 1,000 plus sweatshirts. And so the whole stand is decked out.
That's great.
Which is pretty neat. So it's grown. And the student sections, both visiting school and our own school, we have red, white, and blue day that day, so we really get a good crowd. But it's grown tremendously. And this year we decided, and really this was Coach Esch's idea, was that he wanted to see this go farther in the state of Minnesota. And he envisions that we could see this event happen all across Minnesota as a regular part of our high school football season. And so this year, Minnetonka decided, Mark got together with 12 different coaches from across the state and said, we'd like you guys to do your own salute to service event. And Minnetonka is going to help you kick it off by designing and donating the sweatshirts and the sideline gear that your staff is going to use. And so we did that this year. And so now we've got 12 salute to service games being kicked off in Minnesota in around that October timeframe. It'll be, some of them might be a little before, but we tried to get them all around that same, the date that we're going to be playing. And those schools include Moorhead, Caledonia, which is Marquesh's home, where he's from, Mankato West, where he won a couple state titles, Prior Lake, Lakeville, Wayzata, Edina, Shakopee, Maple Grove, and Mounds View are all doing it this year with the help of Minnetonka football. And it's our goal that as we keep growing this, that everybody can get the opportunity to do this and honor our veterans and make that part of our Minnesota football.
One last question. What's the reaction from the students? Because I would think that this is not just a great thing for the fans and everyone, but maybe a little bit of a learning experience for the students too.
Yeah, that's a good question. We always have to work with our youth to help them understand the sacrifices that our veterans make to protect our country's freedoms. The support from the students is just outstanding. It probably is one of our most, when you talk about theme days, Randy, whether it's a pink day for tackle cancer or hunting camo day when we're getting the hunting season, the red, white, and blue theme is probably the most celebrated event that we have. So the feedback from the students has been tremendous, and we can't appreciate enough what everyone's done to make the program what it is today.
Well, congratulations, because this is a great thing to be doing. Once again, Minnetonka High School football will be holding its salute to service on Friday night this week, October 10th, when they take on Edina. Pat, thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Yes, Randy. Thanks for having us.
Aquarius Home Services takes water treatment to an all-star level with the Connecticut water treatment system. And now get up to 25% off with 6-month no payments and no interest financing for qualified buyers. It's a great deal for worry-free water for drinking, worry-free water for cleaning, laundry, showers, dishes, and more. And all of this with on-demand efficiency that uses zero electricity. Trust me, it is life-changing. Find out more at AquariusHomeservices.com. Aquarius, earning the right to be recommended. 10K Construction is your one stop for all your general contracting needs, whether interior, exterior, residential, commercial, or multifamily properties. They build relationships with their clients, and that's how they've grown their business through referrals. Plus, they are teaming up with LP SmartSide to become Minnesota's premier siding installer. And they're also partnering with IKO Shingles as well. They've got the best of the best to do the job right. 10K Construction covers both Minnesota and Wisconsin. Now, the rumor is they charge a little extra because it's Packer land. I'm not sure about that, but what I am sure about, 10K Construction is the company you want handling all of your general contracting needs. Go to 10kconstruction.com for details. All right, the year was 2009, and the linebacking core at Wayzata was Grant Olson and A.J. Tarpley. And according to Matt Lombardi, that's the best linebacking duo he's ever seen, coached, whatever. And I guess I can't argue. I've looked at my all-Metro teams from the last 40 years, and Grant, I have to say, that group, you two guys, part of Wayzata's linebacker, the run of linebackers, you guys were kind of at the tail end of that great run. What do you remember from that year, 2009, and you guys tearing it up?
Yeah. Man, I remember we were replacing a lot of seniors from the year before. I remember playing some really good ball games. We played some really good teams that year. I remember we played a really good Eden Prairie team. We played some good Minnetonka teams. We played them twice. I remember the state of Minnesota had a lot of talent that year. You know, we were in one heck of a recruiting class. You had, I think, one of the top recruits in the entire country, Chantrell Henderson.
Yep.
Bo Allen ended up having a great NFL career with the Eagles. So there was a lot of really good talent. So I remember that. And then also just, the fun memories with your friends at fall camp and whatnot, and just playing some awesome games. So anyway, yeah, it was a very special time. And I look back very fondly on all those memories.
Grant Olson right now is the defensive coordinator, has been at North Dakota State University, which obviously has had tremendous success. Let's talk about that lineage of linebackers, though. Let's see. James Laurinaitis, 2004. Yeah. Not bad, right? Tommy Becker, 2005.
Yep.
Jeff Schutte, 2007. And then you and AJ come along in 2008 and 2009. Yep. The path was created for you before you got there in that linebacker lineage, right?
Yeah. Well, I think it's one of those that in what I've learned, and just even watching it now as a coach, I understand is that in the state of Minnesota, if you want to win a state title and you want to be a really good team, you have to run the football and you have to stop the run, especially in the cold weather games. So I'll give all of our coaches at Wayzata during those years a lot of credit. They built the team. Give Brad Anderson credit, obviously, as the head coach, and Lombo ran great defenses there. But give those guys all the credit for saying we're going to run the ball and we're going to put our best players in positions to be successful stopping the run on defense. And yeah, I remember being a kid. I remember being in middle school, going to games and being in the student section and watching Laurinaitis and Becker and all those great players. Shoot, I remember Marion Barber. I remember watching Marion Barber against Joe Mauer way back when. That's still a fond memory of mine. So anyway, it was a lot of fun going to those games, and it's certainly always easy to be somebody coming along behind. I think when a James Laurinaitis kind of sets the tone and sets a standard for every kid coming behind, dreaming of going and playing in the Big Ten. That's pretty darn special. So yeah, those older guys certainly paved the way and made AJ and I's careers a lot just easier to have.
So I talked to Lombo and I said, "Tell me about Grant Olson." And he said, he just starts laughing. He says, "That guy studied more film than I did." He said, "You would walk in on a Monday and tell Matt what the game plan should be." Are you kidding? I mean, how does that happen for a 17, 18-year-old to soak up football and take it that? I mean, you really studied the game.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, there's probably a multitude of factors. Number one, I remember being a young kid, and when we grew up big Gopher fans, Vikings fans, and Timberwolves fans, and all those things. And my dad, my dad was an engineer, so he definitely saw the game extremely well, just from an X's and O's standpoint, and not just football, a lot of sports. But he would talk about, just even in basketball, hey, do you see how this guy, by making the extra pass, opened it up for his teammate? And we'd be watching football, and it'd be watching the Vikings. And, hey, did you see how Jim Kleinsasser had made this great block that opened up the hole for the running back, and all those sorts of things? So anyway, that was just a little bit of kind of what we did growing up, and just love sports and love competing. So anyway, got a great stage there. And then just had awesome coaches, Lambo and all the coaches at Wayzata. RJ was my linebacker coach way back when. And just taught you how to watch film, taught you how to study the game. Older players certainly helped out. My older brother certainly was a great example for me, just as a young guy. He's getting ready and he's watching film. So doing it as a freshman instead of waiting until you're a sophomore, waiting until you're a senior, I just had a major advantage on other guys having an older brother. So anyway, there's a lot of factors right there, but I would give all those people credit for helping to teach me how to be a really good student of the game.
So now that you're a football coach at a very successful program, and you're out recruiting, do you look for the Grant Olson guy? The guy that, no, I'm serious. The guy that loves football, loves the grind, loves the little things that you loved as a player.
Yes, absolutely. And it's one of those, I think you always got to be careful as a coach of just, sometimes you get better than what you think you were. So I always want to maintain a tremendous amount of humility and just say, you know what, I was not a perfect player. I missed plenty of tackles and on down the line. So anyway, so I think that's always key. But there's a certain element of just what is successful at NDSU. And I certainly had a lot of those traits. So we're looking for those. But right now I got a senior linebacker from St. Louis, Logan Kopp, that just watching him play, like I love telling this story, that I remember watching his highlights and then watching game film. And he was just one of those guys that he just did everything. I mean, he returned punts, he played running back, he played fullback, he played linebacker. He just did everything. And I'm sitting there like, and then I talked to him on the phone and I find out he's got a great GPA and he wants to be an engineer. And I'm just like, oh man, we are hitting a home run here. I remember getting so excited. This was during COVID. I remember getting on the staff Zoom call the next day. I'm like, guys, I'm telling you, we want this guy. Like, don't ask me how I know. I just know. And he's had just an amazing career. And he's a fantastic player. And a little bit before that, James Kaiser from St. Cloud Tech, same kind of incredible athlete. Just everything he picks up, he's good at. We could hand him a tennis racket and he'd be in Wimbledon in 3 years kind of a guy. Just such a great athlete. But he was an engineer as well. So anyway, so you find those guys that are just great football players. They play a wide variety of positions in sports. And on top of it, they're really high academic. And man, you just know they're going to have great careers at NDSU. So if I can find guys like that, we're going to go get them and we're going to convince them to be Bison for sure.
So I'm going to throw this little stat out here that Lambo told me about. 2-year period, Wayzata defense, 2008, 2009, 2 years. Your opponents had 247 offensive possessions. The defense gave up 11 touchdowns. Think about that. 247 possessions and 11 touchdowns. You'd take that any day, would you not?
I would love that.
That's
Absolutely.
amazing.
That's pretty impressive and ridiculous. And I'm sure, there's always going to come around great teams and dominant teams and whatnot. And we got a chance to be a part of one. But man, if you did that in college football, I mean, you'd be the next head coach in the NFL, I would think, in a hurry. That's pretty unheard of for sure.
So you're looking at, as you look at linebackers and high school players and coaches and fans watch this podcast.
Yeah.
If you're coaching a high school linebacker today, as you coach your college guys, what are the things you stress? What do you tell these linebackers to help them get better and not just work hard and that? What are some of the key things that are important to you that will make them a better player?
Yeah. Oh, great question. I think the first thing to me, without a doubt, and certainly every high school player listening to this needs to do what their high school coaches tell them to do. But I'm a firm believer. I see the biggest problem with high school linebackers is they're looking in the backfield, they're watching the quarterback and the running back, and they're not reading keys. They need to be reading offensive linemen, tight ends, fullbacks. That's what's going to tell you where the play is going. So if you as a young player can learn where to put your eyes, you are going to have a lot of success, and you're going to pass up people that might be more talented than you because you play so much faster. You know, you might run a 5 flat, but if you play at a 4-4 because you read your keys properly, you'll be a great football player. So that's the first thing, is just where you put your eyes. Get that right, you're going to be okay. And I think a big part of that is also, again, how to study film. Don't watch the quarterback. Everybody that watches the Vikings and the Gophers watches the quarterback. Watch the old lineman. Watch the fullbacks. That'll help you become a student of the game. So that'd be number one for me for sure. And then I think the next thing after that, I would say is tackling fundamentals.
Yep.
I think that the most important skill that every defensive player should have is tackling. You know, I know we talk about it just this last year that we might not lead the country in sacks. We might not have the best corner or lead the country in interceptions. But if we are the best tackling team in the country, we will win another national championship. So that's what we're going to hang our hat on. And I would encourage any high school defensive player listening to this, wondering what he should do, go work on tackling. And if you're in the offseason and you're not playing a winter sport, you get your butt on the wrestling team and get better at tackling, you will notice huge dividends paying off.
Well, I appreciate you doing this. You had such great success. And it was so much fun to talk to Matt Lombardi, because as soon as I said your name, he you know, Matt, he can go on for, you know, with story after story. But that's the impact that you had at Wayzata and had on so many. Thanks for doing this. Good luck this year.
Absolutely. Thanks, Randy. I appreciate it. I just wanted to compliment you as well, man. Yeah, I mean, you've been putting, so many young men in such an awesome spotlight, and you're so humble in the way that you've done it. I mean, shoot, I remember being in elementary school watching prep sports way back in the day. So anyway, I don't mean to make you sound old. That's not my intent. But man, you've just been doing an amazing job for so many years. And it's funny, even today, I'm at my mom's lake place, and I mentioned that I'm doing this, and she got all just a big smile on her face. He goes, "Oh, fantastic. I love you still doing stuff." So anyway, we appreciate you a ton.
I appreciate that. Good to talk to you.
You too. Thanks, Randy.
This episode is brought to you by 612 Quarterbacks, Minnesota's premier quarterback development program. At 612 Qs, they're committed to creating a high-quality quarterback development program, both affordable and accessible. Their training goes beyond the basics, not only focusing on proper throwing mechanics and footwork, but also building strong football IQ, leadership, and resilience. Their mission is to educate, inspire, and challenge athletes to raise their standards on the field and in life. Through training and mentorship, they're building more than quarterbacks. They're building a community rooted in growth, accountability, and shared success. Learn more today at 612quarterbacks.com. These days, you can get a checking account, a credit card, or a mortgage just about anywhere. But what you can't always find is the personal touch of a neighborhood credit union like True Stone Financial. I've known the folks at True Stone for many years. They put people first. They take time with you, they get to know you, and they use their expertise to connect with the services that help achieve your financial well-being. True Stone is a not-for-profit financial institution owned by the very people they serve, and they're in your neighborhood. Visit truestone.org and get to know them. They can't wait to meet you. True Stone is an equal housing opportunity lender. Our Talk North games of the week in Class 2A, a monster matchup in Greater Minnesota. Staples, the undefeated Cardinals, taking on unbeaten Pillager on Friday night. And in the Metro, a big game in St. Paul as the undefeated Matamidi Zephyrs take on upstart Cretin-Derham Hall at the University of St. Thomas on Friday. The Shaver Prep Football Podcast drops every Monday, and you can catch us on YouTube and where podcasts can be found. My thanks to producer Alex Haugen and the great folks here at Talk North. Thanks for watching and listening, and we'll see you next week.